Hello friends, what's poppin', and welcome back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your host Yam. As always, mate, I do hope you're doing well. I really do hope that. And welcome back to Chelsea news. Yes, in these uncertain and turbulent times. Today, in today's video, we're talking about the what's happening with Enzo Maresca, the current Chelsea manager. Does he have the backing of the much maligned hierarchy at the moment? Excuse me, the situation with the front of shirt sponsor. An entire season without a front of shirt sponsor. Mental. As much as some, fans might enjoy no sponsor on a shirt, it's a football shirt without a sponsor. The good part of a shirt without the cynical money making part. The truth is, it's mental, and it just shows how silly things are. Injury updates. There's stuff, the top 4 stuff I still can't get my head around, because every now and again I look at the aggregation odds checker for the top 4 finishes, and bearing in mind top 5 is probably Champions League, and how we're still really fancied for it, and I have no idea why. I've got no reason to believe that we can do it from watching this friggin' football team play. So we'll speak about that, injury updates. And yes, I will comment on the Chelsea protests, or the proposed protests from content creators' social media accounts, because you guys have been asking me about it, so I'll give my thoughts on it. Yes, in the meantime, thank you for joining me. Housework, please do drop a like on the video if you want to support the content. It's super simple. You just like and subscribe. Only subscribe if you want to, but if you are a returning visitor, guys, if you find yourself watching my content and you're like, oh, actually, I'm not subscribed to Yan, drop a sub. Yeah, why not? Can't hurt, can it? And then if you do, you should hit that sweet bell, baby. All right, mate. Quickly, I'm on the top 4, just while I've got it in front of me here. So every now and again, I look on Odds Checker, which is an aggregation of, bookies, odds of certain things, markets, and this is top 4. And bearing in mind, this is top 4 when top 5 probably gets you Champions League. I said before, when I looked at this, we were heavy favourites to finish in the top 4. And though I still think we remain the 4th favourites behind Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City are now in 3rd. I think we were 3rd, actually, but Man City are now in 3rd. After their resounding win and Marmoush scoring loads of goals and everything looking good, their newer CDM looking like he could be helpful. We are 4th. And we are 4th ahead of Nottingham Forest. We are 1-1 or odds on 5-6 still. Which is crazy, really, because I've got no reason to believe that. And then Nottingham Forest are, like, in some quarters, 2-1. So that's all by some giving us twice the chance of finishing in the top 4 over Nottingham Forest, which is wild, really, considering they're not in Europe or whatever, yada yada. Although actually, when we were playing European games, our form was a lot better. It's almost like inadvertently and weirdly, the Conference League helped us stay in form, retrospectively, even if that's possible. I'm not entirely sure. But I just have you'd be a mug to bet on Chelsea right now to do it. Look, I mean, God, I hope we turn our form around and we still meet our targets this season. But I don't know where are they getting this? Yeah, they just sort of feel like Chelsea will inevitably do it somehow, which I must say, I don't quite have that confidence in us. Alright, so in a moment we'll talk about the injury updates, shirt sponsor stuff, which is referencing Stefan Borsen, that knobber Man City fan, cited on Football Insider, and I'm also going to cite The Boot Room, which is referencing what Romano said about the Chelsea manager. But I did want to give my thoughts on the proposed Chelsea protests for not the game against Villa, because that's away, but the following game at Stamford Bridge later this month. Yeah, I mean, fine. Yes, I mean, firstly, I must say, I'm a massive proponent, I'm a big believer of a fan's right to of anyone's right to protest, whether it's political, cultural, or indeed sporting. I was very big. I was still on social media. I spoke about this on my Instagram, actually, and if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's @FootballYannick. Like the second channel, both @FootballYannick. If you want to see me do Instagram lives and whatnot. and I was chatting to some viewers about this. When Chelsea were put up for sale, I was really worried that we were going to get purchased by the Ricketts family. I mean, they were joint favourites with Todd Bowley's consortium to buy Chelsea. And Matisse, as you know, a friend of mine, he organised a No to Ricketts protest, which I promoted at the time. I still had I still used Twitter. I haven't had it for a couple of years now, but I still used it at the time, and I had a big following, and I was promoting the protest. At the time, it was like, Todd Bowley's consortium versus the Ricketts. It was kind of like, and by the way, this is before we learn about Clearlake. This is long before anyone knew about the sporting directors and, their model and all this kind of stuff. At the time, it seemed like good versus evil. Do you know what I mean? Ricketts, like this sort of, family with bigoting controversies and all this kind of stuff, yeah. And then Todd Bowley was this guy who tried to buy Chelsea before 2018, owns a really successful sporting franchise, wanted to attend games and shake hands outside Stamford Bridge and be the guy, and lots of social media accounts were promoting him, like Alex Goldberg, another friend of mine, doing like Team Todd. Do you know what I mean? So I was a big advocate of protesting against the Ricketts acquisition of Chelsea. So I'm big on it. Now, I'm by no means in love with this ownership. I'm very, very frustrated. And if you guys watch my channel and my content lately, over the weekend, I was miserable. I'm generally quite a happy guy. I'd like to think, well, I got my own issues in life, which I won't share with you, but I try and stay happy. That I see no reason of laying on additional misery. But that Friday evening result and the two Brighton results really for me were, it was very, very sobering, and I was very upset and miserable about it. Yeah, I mean, it's tough timing, isn't it? Because it's almost like you wish all this happened a month ago, because maybe a demonstration from the Chelsea fans against the ownership might have sparked them to go, oh god, this transfer window's still open, let's just sign a striker, like a senior striker, and then they'll keep them happy, the Chelsea fans, and give them extra reinforcement for top four, and then of course Jackson and Gue get injured afterwards, and then maybe it could have done something. I'm not sure personally what a protest right now would achieve for the remainder of the season. Is it going to help push the players on to perform their best to achieve our goals? I mean, my instinct says no, but maybe it does as well. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Maybe they think, okay, Chelsea fans are really, really going through it here. We've got to fight for them, maybe. But I think most of all, it's about Chelsea fans just being upset and exercising their right to demonstrate their frustration and pain. And I'm all for that. So yeah, it's a peaceful protest. It's just Spurs did a massive protest in their game against Man United. There was a big turnout. I mean, they've been suffering for a long time under Levy and Enoch and all that kind of stuff. So I get that's like an aggregation of years and years and years and years of pain. I mean, obviously it is tough with Chelsea because just 2 months ago, Chelsea fans were singing "We've got our Chelsea back." Again, that felt like it was a bit premature, but it's not about the 2 months. It is about the 3 years. I totally understand. I think it's difficult, basically. I basically, in the long and the short of it is, I absolutely endorse everyone's right to exercise their, displeasure. And, the people that want to do it, all friends of mine. Alex Goldberg, I consider a good friend. Matisse, I met at a game before. I speak to him, every now and again. George, I went to a few games with George. He lives in Bali. I imagine he's a big advocate of it. I know he's really unhappy at the moment. I'm good friends with George. Eunice is again, I went to a Champions League game with Eunice years ago. Had a few beers with him. We had a great time. Again, respect to all of them. Consider them mates and respect their opinions. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it. If anything, it's something to talk about. Do you know what I mean? It's something that's not Chelsea just losing to talk about. So, yeah. Anyway, let's do some news. All right. Cool. So, Chelsea injury update. I want to reel through this quickly off the standard sport. Definitely nowhere near as harrowing as last campaign under Pochettino, but few injuries now. Of course, Noni Madueke's come off with a hamstring problem, and Maresca's confirmed it is his hamstring, and he will, quote, be out for a while. His potential return date is unknown. Malo Gusto is an interesting one. He did come off injured. He looked like he had some sort of injury in his legs, but he was also, apparently he told Maresca he was okay. So his potential return date is the game against Villa on the 22nd of this month. But of course, we've heard that before with Nico Jackson going, Nico tells Maresca he's okay, and then we have a scan, and then he's out for months. So we never really totally know. And then Nico Jackson isn't returning until April, which is a long time. And you don't even know when in April, and it's potential. You got the likes of Romeo Lavia, which for me is just the theoretical. Like, we thought with Nkunku, but Lavia is worse. The theoretical footballer, we don't know when he's returning. The draw at Bournemouth in January is when he suffered a new injury. And, we don't know when he's coming back. Mark Guiu, we don't know when he's coming back as well, but it's going to be weeks or months, quote, which is very, very loose and frustrating. Wesley Fofana will be returning next month, potentially, but we don't know exactly when. Badiashile, I thought was ahead of schedule, although the potential return date is listed as unknown here for Benoit Badiashile. I thought he was ahead of Fofana. So I don't know what unknown means, that he could pop up very soon or much later. Of course, the biggest and most frustrating stuff is the strikers, although shipping 3 goals to Brighton. I mean, Levi Colwill playing badly, no way of getting around that. Very, very frustrating indeed, very disappointing from Levi Colwill, and tactically Maresca probably getting it wrong in recent weeks. We'll speak about him in just a moment. And yeah, tough. Tough, man. Alright, so Football Insider citing the very jarring figure of Stefan Borson, of course, huge Man City fan, financial expert that goes all over social media, TalkSport, but of course is, seemingly massively biased towards Man City and seemingly very against Chelsea Football Club. But he's spoken to Football Insider exclusively about this lack of Chelsea's front of shirt sponsor. He, of course, is very snarky about Chelsea selling the hotels to themselves. And then when he found out as well, not only did the Chelsea sell the hotels to themselves to creatively evade financial rules, that Chelsea also will still generate the revenue from the hotels. He was like, well, they've been very clever. But then you could tell he was dying inside. He's rightly highlighted the fact how it's dumb that Chelsea still has no shirt sponsor. There have been loads of rumours they're about to do a deal. Clearly, there is no shirt sponsor coming this season, he says. Yeah. We are now in mid-February and there's no shirt sponsor for the season. Anyone that puts that logo in front of the shirt will be paying much for it if it does happen, or it could be part of next season's deal. But why would you do that when you don't know what European competition? Chelsea could be... Next season, we could be of anything from Champions League to no Europe. I mean, you'd have to say, hopefully, it would be Europa League minimum, purely because we should, touch wood, win the Conference League. But my word, if we don't, that is pain. But the reality is they're not getting any sorts of money that they should have been getting historically. Like, historically, we'd be getting 60 million, like good Chelsea, historic Chelsea, 60 million a season. And then obviously you got to start thinking about inflation and, maybe that goes up a little bit. But yeah, Chelsea rejected a lucrative shirt sponsor in the 2nd of October, but it was a gambling company. So that's, that was August last year. So that was the beginning of the season. One of the few things Chelsea have got right, rejecting a gambling men's shirt sponsor. Of course, that will also, in a year or two, season or two, that you can't do that anymore. So it would have been until the rules change. But yeah, I'm very pleased we didn't go with gambling. Yeah, look, we also held talks with Qatar Airways. They'll be looking to essentially get in front of shirt sponsor for the next season. If they're in the Champions League, they'll want to negotiate a 5-year deal saying, we are a Champions League club. Let's give us a Champions League, 60 million a year for 5 years. And that's what they'll be hoping. But I tell you what, man, I was saying this on my Instagram live yesterday. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous that we missed out for a third of last season, a quarter, a third, however long it was before we got the 40 million infinite athlete deal. But this season is wild. As someone, sorry, I forgot who your username is, but rightly highlighted in the comments that, was it live? Anyway, that with now the ATP rules, Man City won that legal case against the Premier League, the Associated Party Transactions. Basically, I wonder if Clearlake Capital now are going to try and use one of their companies to sponsor Chelsea, like Man City have been doing with Etihad. They make loads of money for Etihad. It's their own company. It's Abu Dhabi funding. It's messed up. It's effed up. You know, it's one of the worst part of footballs. But it would be a way where Chelsea could get loads of money into their own football club through their other companies pumping their own money in without breaking financial fair play rules. I wonder if that's what they will just go for now. Man City, because apparently they backed Man City and Newcastle did as well, and maybe Villa have got rich owners. I said yeah, keep doing that so they can. It's not cheating then, is it? Because you're just doing that. I wonder if there's a little bit of that as well. I do wonder. Let's talk about Enzo Maresca. So, Fabrizio Romano, I'm getting this from the boot room. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed or claims Chelsea are already holding transfer meetings with Enzo Maresca for the summer transfer window, proving he remains firmly in part of their long-term plans. It's clear Chelsea still need a top goalkeeper. Yes. And a striker, with Sanchez and Jackson's performances being questioned. Should I say elements of Jackson's performances being questioned? Finishing. But yeah, all of Rob Sanchez being questioned, I must say. I think it's kind of unfair to throw them in together, on Jackson at least. But overall, the Blues remain very happy with Maresca and accept it will take him for his team to be a genuine... It will take him, I guess take time, it's meant to be, for his team to be a genuine success at Stamford Bridge. Romano told his YouTube this, quote, "In general, for Chelsea, it remains not the best moment, but for the long term, Chelsea remain very happy with Maresca. Very happy with the approach he has with the players," so I guess like how he deals with the players, his tactical approach, and his mentality, which he's giving the team. So Chelsea fans obviously picked up on the mentality and obviously reacted negatively because he said stuff about positives of exiting the cup, lowering the expectations of the season, saying, we're not supposed to do this or that, and that's being understood as poor mentality. Perhaps this is referencing the mentality in how he deals with players in the dressing room. I'm guessing maybe. So obviously it's not the best moment, but in terms of long-term view, Chelsea are not changing their mind. Hold on, I think my door just went, one sec. No, I'm apparently just losing my mind. They're not changing their long-term view on Maresca. Chelsea are not changing their mind. They absolutely see him as the right manager for the present and the future. They are building with Enzo Maresca, and they have already spending meetings having talks about transfer plans for the summer. So he's 100% involved in the summer plans. Good, I guess. Some Chelsea fans want Enzo Maresca out. While I understand he's not been a top performer in terms of coaching managerial of late, I do feel sorry for him. I do think he's been shortchanged with a squad that's not helpful. He's been unlucky with maybe injuries as well, the striker injuries. I do think also that's a negative, but also could be a positive, as he's not the finished article as a manager. I know he's not young, he's 45, certainly not old for a manager, 45. If he's the right type of character, there's scope for development. And yeah, man, that's we're in with Maresca. So let me know what your thoughts there. Is that the correct decision? Let me know your thoughts on everything I've spoken about today. Do keep it locked to the channel. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for liking and subscribing. And I will see you back here soon. Hopefully, enjoy the football. Peace.